Erik ten Hag has come out and backed at the players of Manchester United, Diogo Dalot, and obviously Cody Gakpo in there for you. And then we are having a Casemiro update after that loss to Man City that was really very annihilating in there for you. Welcome to you, Manchester United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. And guys, welcome back from yesterday's game. I think let's delete that from our brains because such things could really happen, and they happen in games that you least expect them to be, because according to how our back four had been defending in the previous games, you never had it in mind that it would go 6-3. But obviously it went that side. But obviously what brought it? It was because about Bruno, Eriksson, Scott McTominay, Anthony and Sancho. Those 4-5 players really let down the back four, because there is no way the back four could really defend itself alone in such a game of football that really had a very huge magnitude. So I believe lots of things really happened in that game of football, but let's really bury that out of our mind, and then let's really continue to the next game of Omoni. And I really believe that we are going to go ahead and really do the needful that side in there for you. Smash the like button, comment and share, and if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as known to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, after yesterday's game, Ten Hag has gone ahead to do this. We've been told by James Daka, he's a United correspondent for the Daily and Sunday Telegraph, that Erik ten Hag has told Manchester United's hierarchy not to dish out any new contracts until he has determined who warranties them. This is why I like this guy, and this adds more beef to what he told the players in training, that the board gave me full authority on all of you. I can kick out a player and I can keep a player out of here. So he is telling the players that maybe you have been knowing that it's a different United like before. Here, he's trying to exercise his duty and tell them that, please, I'm in charge. I'm totally in charge, and let me show you that I'm in charge. No one is going to be issued a new contract not until I'm determined who warranties them. Now, someone will ask himself, what players are having their contracts when they're really on line to run out? One, David De Gea. Obviously, it's running out in the summer. Diogo Dalot, there is an option to trigger that 1 year on his contract, but it's also running out in the summer. Luke Shaw, I think he's left with 1 year on his contract, or 1.5 years on his contract. By the time we end the summer, it will be like 12 months left on his contract. The other one is Freddie. I think Freddie's contract is running down this summer. The other one is Rashford. By the end of this summer, we'll be left with just 1 year on his contract, provided that 1 year left is triggered. The other player is Cristiano Ronaldo. After running down this year at Manchester United, he'll be left with just a year to trigger, and I don't know whether Erik ten Hag will sanction it to trigger. Those are how many? 9 players. Which other player? I think they have. Which other player whose contract is really going to run down? Phil Jones. I think that one is going to be shown the exit door out of United. I think his contract is running down this summer. Which other player? I think those are the players whose contracts are really on a line of ending, and they need to be looked into by the manager. Now, after losing 6-3 to Man City, the gaffer went ahead to relate the players that, please, I'm in charge, and nobody should be granted a new contract by the board before I really sanction it to happen. And this is really another commanding step that Erik ten Hag has really gone ahead to take, because these players have been knowing that the board loves them, and even if they don't put in a shift, they would comfortably go outside there and really lose and go back and really get in bed with the board to really get them new contracts. You get? Like Bruno Fernandes. I wouldn't have given Bruno Fernandes a new contract because of how he was performing. That's it. He was really performing outrageously. You get? That is really a very bad precedent set by the club, offering a contract to a player who is underperforming. You get? Rashford. No reason to really give him a new contract. If he's going, let him go. Let him go. Because they are better players that we can go in and sign up. I believe I rather give Garnacho a new contract at United, because I know at the age of 18, he's already ripened and just needs some playing time to come out and really sit down players. I believe in that game of Man City, bring on Garnacho, or start Garnacho, he would have chased these players off the park. He would have tracked back very well to help Malacia. You get? Look at Anthony Gordon at Everton. Young, 20 years of age, but he's really performing at a high level. That's what I want this club to be at. That's why I like Erik ten Hag and his principles. I think he has modern principles of managing players. That's it. No player should be assured of getting a new contract even though he's performing well or not. It all lies in the hands of the manager on who should be handed a new contract or not. But the previous seasons, it has always been the board handing contracts, new contracts, to the players, not the manager. Yet in elite clubs, it's the manager to sit down with the board and decide on who deserves a new contract or not. I believe this is really a very good precedent set by Erik ten Hag, and these players are really going to be working their asses off to make it sure that they really get back to the levels we're supposed to be playing on. And in the games we're really left with in the Premier League before you go to the World Cup, I believe we can do better. I believe we can go ahead and really do better. Let me flash these games onto you. Let me flash these games onto your screen and show you how many points we can really gather out of these games of football. Because I believe with this precedent set by the manager, every player that is going to work on that field of play in the starting 11 of United is going to put in a very huge shift. After that, annihilation against City. I think that's what's going to happen, because we are annihilated badly by City. So that was a little distraction and demolition by City. Now, we are having Everton on Sunday. I think we can win this. Newcastle, we can even beat Chelsea at their position, but let's count this as a loss or a draw. Let's not count this game of Chelsea. Let's count West Ham and let's count Aston Villa. You get? And Fulham. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. I think out of the 6 games, if we win 5 and lose 1, getting 15 out of the possible 18 points, I think that won't be bad. Going to the World Cup with 27 points, that is not going to be bad, because we are having 12, and when you collect more 15, we'll be having how many? 17 with a game in hand. We'll be having 27 with a game in hand. That will be like 30 points. I believe that could be a very huge response from these players. And I think this is the message that Erik ten Hag is sending in to the players, that I'm going to evaluate every player current situation or current contract situation when you guys are in the World Cup. When you're having the World Cup break, I'm going to be evaluating these players on who deserves a new contract and who doesn't, because I believe he has already identified. But me, on my fingerprints, I'm sorry to say, but these players are in danger. 1, Lindelof, no contract for him, no new contract for him. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, no new contract for him. Harry Maguire, no new contract for him. Freddie Rodriguez, I don't know whether he's going to be given a new contract because he's 29, and I don't think that Erik ten Hag would like to keep a player like him who is going to hit his 30s in his team. Ronaldo, I don't believe they're going to trigger his contract. So I believe some 5 players in me that those players are not really going to be getting a new contract extension at Manchester United. So guys, that's it as far as Erik ten Hag has backed, and obviously let's wait and see what's going to result out of his backing. Are we going to go ahead and really demolish Omonia on Thursday? Let's wait and see what is going to happen in there for you. Now, after that all happening and Erik ten Hag issuing that, there is a war of Diogo Dalot. Erik ten Hag taking all this long to think about the contract renewal and extension at Manchester United. We've gotten a threat of this guy. Barcelona expected to make a bid for Diogo Dalot, but Barca are only in the process of gathering information to shore up a potential move. Scouts were at Portugal versus Czech Republic, but Cancelo, no, it was Portugal versus Spain, but Cancelo started. Dalot is focused on Manchester United at the moment. Now, there is a statement Diogo Dalot made that really made me believe he wants to stay at the club. He said that teammates, all his teammates and him, really want to be the first players, all set of players, to revive the lost glory of Manchester United. That's their aim. And when a player comes out and really makes such a statement, it's like a confirmation that he wants to start the club. And obviously, with the way he has been playing, obviously this guy deserves to be rewarded a new contract. And I think he needs to go ahead and really keep on this performance coming in through, because in the international duty he scored a brace. And that shows you that there is another ability in this guy that has not been really put into use. And obviously that is the goal scoring ability in him. And I think Erik ten Hag is one of the managers that has really gone ahead to really improve this player. Ever since Jose Mourinho brought him in 2018, there came in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You get, even the manager that really brought him never used him enough. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer never used him enough. He even loaned him to AC Milan. Then Ralf Rangnick came in through, and he really picked him over Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he played very well. And then Erik ten Hag comes in through and really has improved this player. And I believe he's one of those players that's going to be rewarded a new contract. But the worry still keeps on piling onto me and asking myself, are we really going to lose out on Diogo Dalot? But I don't believe we are going to lose out on Diogo Dalot. And I don't believe that that threat of Barcelona is really so much worrying to me. But there is that threat coming in from Barcelona, and it can change any player's mind. But I believe with Erik ten Hag, he really believes in Dalot, and Dalot is going to be given a new contract that is worthy his work that he has really put up in the field of play. But to me, I think Dalot is going to stay. Dalot is going to stay, and I keep all my hands crossed for this guy to stay at Manchester United. Now, after Diogo Dalot, we have a story coming in from Fabrizio Romano today on a United Stand. He said Cody Gakpo is one of the potential options for the January transfer window. However, nothing has been decided of yet. So, Cody Gakpo, I believe if there is a player that United needs to go ahead and really change things at the club, it's going to be Cody Gakpo. More realistic, in yesterday's game, I think Cody Gakpo gives you more as a centre forward than Marcus Rashford. And we need to see Sancho tussling it out with Anthony on the right wing, and Rashford tussling it out with Cody Gakpo. And if at all there is any player I would welcome immediately on the 1st of January at Manchester United, Carrington, to be specific, it should be Cody Gakpo, because he is going to give us a different phase of football altogether. But Erik ten Hag loves him, and where does this leave Alejandro Garnacho? Because Garnacho also plays onto the left, attacking side of the midfield, and is really playing very well. The same applies to Facundo Pellistri, is also good, and the return of Facundo Pellistri might really change the thoughts of the manager, because you saw him that Erik ten Hag never brought Danny van Beek on bench and brought in Facundo Pellistri. Maybe he's so much picking interest in this guy of late, though it wasn't the case. But Facundo Pellistri is a very good guy, tracks back very well, he has pace on him, he has a physical attribute on him, and I know he can really sit down lots of players into the Premier League. And the manager really put him on the bench in the game against City, and you never know, he might go ahead and really get him to these levels. But where does this leave the Cody Gakpo deal? So to me, I believe the Cody Gakpo deal to happen in January is going to depend on Alejandro Garnacho and Anthony Elanga and Facundo Pellistri. Those three players. That's where the manager is going to really come out and really make a decision. Maybe he will say, I'm going to send Facundo Pellistri on loan, I'm sending Garnacho on loan, and Anthony Elanga, I'm sending you on loan. I'm bringing in Cody Gakpo. Go, have enough playing time, and maybe you can come in here and really be better players and useful to the squad. And that's what I think the manager is going to use as that gear. And I believe if it was not about the misbehaving of Garnacho in the preseason, he would have been one of the players playing in the squad of Manchester United right now. He had the chance to play in the preseason, but he really broke the rules of Erik ten Hag, and Ten Hag told him, you are not going to play any single game at the preseason. And he was on the bench, and he was always the substitute that was always unused. Yet they brought in close to 11 players per half. So it really made a lot of changes and lots of alternations into the plan of Alejandro Garnacho, but I know Alejandro Garnacho knows that he's in the right hands of Erik ten Hag and is going to renew his contract. Remember, there are threats of teams like Barcelona, Juventus wanting this lad to go out there, but I wouldn't like us to lose Garnacho in there for you. But you have to go with the manager. If at all the manager comes out and say that Alejandro Garnacho go out of this club, we'll back the manager because he would have really gotten us the best option. I believe in Cody Gakpo that he can play as a left attacking midfielder and can play as a centre forward like he does at the Dutch national team. I saw him lead the line with Memphis Depay when they were beating, was it which team did they beat 4 goals? And then he led the line after Memphis Depay got an injury with Bergwijn in that game of Belgium where they beat Belgium by 1-0. But Cody Gakpo really destroyed Belgium. He's good at holding up that ball, and I believe that if at all he comes in through and maybe the manager says I'm going to play with a 4-1-3-2 and Martial and Cody Gakpo leading my line, Rashford wide, Anthony wide, Bruno Fernandes, or Eriksson playing as a single pivot, playing into the central midfield area with Casemiro playing as a single pivot, I think we'll always be able to dominate the game of play and with possession, because Martial and Cody Gakpo are both good at really holding that ball with them. So that's the beauty of this guy who goes by Cody Gakpo. But United is still thinking about bringing him in January. Remember, he was the option that United had onto their ladder if at all Anthony didn't make it through to join Manchester United. That is a man who goes by the names of Cody Gakpo, but Erik ten Hag is really in the watch of this guy. Now, lastly, Casemiro came on and played close to 30 minutes in the game of United versus the side which goes by names of Man City, where we are beaten badly by 6-3. And obviously, Scott McTominay had a very bad game, and that has really brought to play a lot of thoughts that maybe Casemiro needs to start most of the games, and questions have been raised to the manager of Manchester United why he's not really starting a man who goes by the name of Casemiro. And Fabrizio Romano today has told us that Casemiro is likely to start more games this month. Erik ten Hag hasn't done so yet, as he wants him to get used to his style of play. That's it. But I believe, if at all you see what Casemiro is playing, I think he's so much used to the style of play of Erik ten Hag than Scott McTominay. One, I saw him yesterday and he has been doing it, though sometimes he has been really finding it out hard to put out a foot right, especially with his one-touch passing game. But yesterday, I saw him play long one-touch passes from the box area of Manchester United. I believe if you really want a person who suits the style of play of Erik ten Hag, it should be Casemiro, because he's going to do those penetrative passes through the midfield area. And who is going to get you all that? It's Casemiro, and better at doing that, I believe, in him than any of the midfielders we've got, because he has done it at a higher level of Real Madrid, and I believe Ten Hag needs to go out and really do the needful for this guy. Though yesterday, Ten Hag came out and said that he should come into the team naturally, but that's out. You think Anthony came in that team naturally? Eriksson, Lisandro Martinez, you get? They came straight into the team. But Casemiro has to go straight into that team because Scott McTominay is really blindfolding us. Where it mattered most, he really threw himself in the mud. He threw the team in the mud. He battered everything. He bolted everything in that Man City game, and that was the litmus test for Scott McTominay. If at all he played very well and controlled that midfield with Eriksen very well, we wouldn't have lost by 6-3. I don't mean we wouldn't have lost, but even if we would have lost, we would have lost by like 2-1, 3-1, or 3-2. But obviously, this guy was left on the bench, and Erik ten Hag is one to blame for not bringing Casemiro. But the good news is that we've been told that he is going to play more games this month of October. And obviously, Casemiro will need to play more games in October because he knows that the World Cup is just a month away. So he needs to go on and really play lots of games. So guys, thank you for watching in. Tell me what you think about Ten Hag backing at United Stars, Diogo Dalot worry, Cody Gakpo update, all in one, plus Casemiro update, being promised that's going to play more of the games this month. And obviously, your reactions are welcome into the comment section below. I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I sign out for now. See you later, my mates, because this is the channel that brings you your latest news and information. Your African Red Devil is here, Rock and David, to bring you the latest news that comes out from Manchester United. I hand you over the mighty Lord. May him protect you, and may you always walk in the shadow of his wings. I'm out.